actually. I just took like 3-hour nap or something. It was insane. I'm really tired. But I'm still making you a video. Today I want to talk to you some about something that has been an obsession of mine for a very long time, and I know you know about it. And that is purple pens. Purple friggin' pens. Why? Purple, 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 purple. All purple. Everything I write is in purple. Why is this? Well, first of all, I'm gonna blame it on you because, like, several years ago I had one purple pen and I used it to write stories, and I quite liked it, and then it ran dry and I didn't use purple pens for a while. But you were like, oh, remember when you liked purple pens a lot? I'm gonna get you 3 of them. So you got me 3 purple pens, which was very nice of you. And I used, no, maybe there were 6, I don't know, but I used them and I loved them. And then this past year, for my birthday, 6 more, maybe it was 3, I don't remember, but I used them for everything. And the funny thing is, before I just used a purple pen because I was tired of using like black and blue. I was like, oh, purple, that's fine, but I didn't really like the color purple. Like, it was just, I was kind of indifferent to it. But now, I love the color purple because I associate it with writing, because writing is one of my favorite things ever, as you know, and I have just used purple so much for writing any ideas I have, anything, in all my notebooks is all purple pen. So now I have this great association with the color purple, and I just love the color purple now, and my laptop case is purple, and I just see the color purple, and I'm like, yay, and I don't know why that, I don't know how my brain made that transition from, like, completely indifferent to the color purple, like, it's okay, and now it's my favorite color just because of the association it has. But I also think it is not just because of the association. I actually believe the color to be aesthetically pleasing now, whereas it wasn't before. So, like, psychological reason behind colors in, I don't know where this is going, but I just thought it was interesting. Speaking of sight, high five for transitions, I've been reading John Berger's Ways of Seeing for the past, like, week now for school. And I wrote a couple essays on it and stuff, so I've been thinking a lot about it, and it's just been in my head, like, constantly. And one of the things that he says in this essay, he talks about how we should interpret art. It's a really confusing essay, and I really hope I'm not getting any of this wrong. And at one point, he starts talking about this critic that is talking about the painter Hal's work, and specifically, like, the last 2 paintings he did before he died. And he's kind of not making fun of isn't the word I'm looking for, but he's kind of bashing this person because it's an upperclassman person, and they're talking about the colors and the this and the that and all the meaning and the in-depth, you know, all the stuff that you hear a lot about when you talk about paintings. And he's saying, no, you're doing it wrong. What you need to be thinking about is the fact that Hals was a very poor painter. He was practically starving on the streets, and he was able to do these paintings of these upper class people without resentment, without bitterness. And he did it objectively, and he didn't project. It's just he was very objective in these paintings. And I'm like, Berger? Yes, I think you're right. I think we should, when we look at the paintings, we should think about Hal's situation when he was painting these, and how he was able to paint these people objectively. But I don't necessarily think the critic was wrong. I don't think that the critic was you know, he's kind of saying, oh, this critic who's high and mighty and everything, talking about the depth and the colors and the meaning and everything, and he's saying, no, you're doing it wrong. But I think by saying that, he's kind of contradicting himself in that, in inferring that there is a wrong way to interpret paintings, and I don't really think that there is, and I could be wrong about this, and I could change my mind, but paintings, and this is something else he talks about, who art belongs to, and I think art belongs to the people who are looking at it, to the people who are consuming the art. So if you are the one looking at it and this is how you interpret it, then you're not doing it wrong, because that is for you to decide and for you to interpret the way you want to. In the same way that when you looked at my art the other day, whenever that was, and maybe someone else will look at my art and see it differently, but that doesn't make either of you wrong in your interpretation, because as a viewer of that piece of art, you are the one consuming it and owning it, and that it is in a sense yours, you know? For example, let's take Picasso's painting, The Old Guitarist. This has cold, quiet colors, a soft undercurrent that evokes any onlooker to watch quietly, tread softly, in the same manner that one would around a deathbed. Like a dry river ground, there is evidence of previous life, previous progression, now all but gone in the presence of drought. There seems to be emanating a silent music, music that is not made of instruments, but hues of demise in an atmosphere of night. I'd like to examine the overall flavor of this piece. There are two distinct tonal elements here, desolation and nostalgia. The painting is empty, as if there is nothing left on earth but this man and his guitar. But that also lends to the nostalgia. He has nothing left, and still he clings to his instrument. The colors used here add to this, as well as ask an interesting question. There is a pervasive amount of black in the painting, as if the shadows themselves are pulling the old man towards death. They leak from the corners, eating away at his spindly fingers and hiding among his dark garments. However, somewhat contrarily, there is a significant amount of lighter blue present as well. Towards the man's head, it almost seems to shine, fighting against the darkness that threatens to engulf. Why use such a generally pleasant color in an overwhelmingly morose piece? Perhaps to illustrate the idea of continuation after this man's story ends. It's the exact color of blue that fills the sky just before dawn. It's the blue that begins to drown out the blackness of night and pull towards the light of day, appealing the world to continue. It brings the concern of transience into the picture. It tells the story of movement in an otherwise frozen image. Now that was a piece of my interpretation of the painting. You might have a different one, Berger might have a different one, Picasso might have a different one. That doesn't make any of us wrong. And I think that was perhaps something that Berger was missing. Now I know Berger was also commenting on the power that the upper class has and how it grabs art and makes it theirs and puts this grandiose thing on art that doesn't have to be there. And that's true, kind of. But the point still stands that someone's interpretation, regardless of the fact that they're pretentious people with thousands of dollars, billions and millions and trillions of dollars, and their Picasso paintings are on their walls and it's just sitting there, that's irrelevant. The point is that there is not a wrong interpretation of the painting. That critic that he was critiquing was not wrong in his interpretation, and I think that's important, and I think that there's something to be learned from Berger, and that it was a really good essay if you ever have time to read it. But yeah. Anyways, thanks for all the answers to my questions. That was cool. I liked your answers. I am, still confused about elements, but who isn't, really? So, yeah. Thanks again. Hope the cornfields are treating you well. Bye! Oh, interesting facts. I always forget interesting facts every time. I always go to edit the video and then I'm like, didn't do an interesting fact. Interesting fact for today. Doctor Who comes back on the 19th, September 19th. Please watch it.